Hey kids, we're finishing a level current polish job on a Martin, what is it called? M-64 guitar. It's a Martin with a maple back and sides, okay, but spruced up. Yeah, so the guitar was on the neck jig up until now, and now it's back on the bench. And we are going to polish and buff the frets on the bench. Sometimes I do it here. I decided to do it on the bench this time. I don't know why, just because. So this is Guitar Quackery Live. That's the name of the channel that you're watching. You are watching a live stream. So this is, that's the same as the content that you see on the other channel, which is called Guitar Quackery, which I edit down, and I only show you the highlights. Here I show you everything, but it takes time to view through the whole thing, right? To watch the whole thing. But you can also catch me live on this channel, not on the other one. So if you like the idea of catching me live at work, you can subscribe to this channel and get notified whenever I decide to, stream something. I don't stream every project. Now, what else? Oh, yeah. The studio that you see here is Bob Elliott's Music Makers NY. Fantastic music studio in Manhattan, Midtown. Yeah, Bob Elliott is the owner. I have a little space there, so it's time to do the job, right? Let's do it. Here is the guitar on the bench, and here is the person that's going to do the work. Now, I am not going to be able to finish this today, simply because of this unforeseen development, which is a problem with the bridge, okay? So if you are now watching part, what is this, 5? So if you watch part 4 and part 2, I explain what the problem is. We need to resolve this. This is going to be a separate project. I need to discuss with the customer. And I don't really feel like putting strings back on this bridge until we resolve it. Because we need to do the fret work. We need to polish the frets. And then I need to put the nut back and adjust the nut. Obviously, I need to put the strings on the guitar to adjust the nut. But I don't want to really do that until this is resolved. So the customer will have to decide what to do. I am already, communicating with him about this issue. All right, so I will show you everything. You will see how one of the methods that I use for polishing the frets. This is inspired by well, actually, I stole the idea from Ken Parker. Ken Parker is the inventor of the Parker Fly guitar. Okay, he's got a channel, and he shows this method on his channel. So here we are. I'm going to do it. I have this cover for the guitar. It fits almost perfectly. It's really for a Gibson Dove guitar and gospel guitar, but it's a really good fit for this guitar as well. And you know what? I threw the tapes away. Oh no, here they are. Okay, 2 pieces of tape. So this fits on the guitar, and now I tape it down to protect the guitar. Yeah. Because you never know. We'll be polishing these frets here. I don't want to hit the guitar here. I don't want something to fall on the guitar. And if something does fall, most likely this will prevent damage. So here we are. This is the little gimmick. It's piece of acrylic. I made this on the milling machine. Let's zoom in. And you can see this fits the crown of the fret. Right? It's a little bigger than the crown because we're going to put sandpaper there. We're going to wrap it around. The first grit we're going to use is this one, P800. Now, I'm still trying to figure out what size is best for this method, so I'm still kind of experimenting with this. And we have 1500 here as well. You see that? Okay. So I buy sand. I'll show you how I keep my sandpaper. I have a bunch here. I've used this system for many years, and sometimes I buy sandpaper at Home Depot and Lowe's, sometimes on Amazon, etc. Granger's a good source. Oh yeah, and I put Amazon links to the sandpaper that I'm using. So those links and links to some other supplies and tools. So those are Amazon affiliate links. I know it's annoying, but every time I need to say that they are affiliate links and that I make a small commission at no extra cost to you. So there, I said it. Now, I can show you, oh yeah, how I do this sandpaper. So it's, oh, I should put a link to this as well. It's one of those old accordion filing things, and I have different grits of sandpaper inside, starting from coarse to fine at the back end, right? All right. So that's my sandpaper filing system. Okay. Why is this not working? Okay, so maybe it's good I didn't put a link to this. Okay, but yeah, I will put a link to this. It always works. It just doesn't want to work now. Wow. And I have tape and here. Okay, we're gonna tape off the first fret. I use another system as well, which I guess I can show you because this is a tutorial, right? And then I have this tool like I showed you. So I'm going to start with a P800 in this case. I've done with different grits, like starting with 600 grit. And I am going to put some self-adhesive sandpaper here, like this one. You know, it peels off. I've been meaning to do it, you know, to hold it, but, you know, haven't had time. So now I'm holding it this way. And you need to start by pushing lightly. And then push more and more as you work it in. And then you finish it off, and you can tilt it a little bit, left and right. So it starts off as 800 grit, and it turns into a finer grit towards the end. I don't really know what grit this is now at the end. And it's also all clogged up, and then you need to move this in this direction a little bit. Oh yeah, first change the position of the tape. And then do it again. Like that. So this produces a brushed metal look, obviously. And here you can see this. Okay. Once again, just clean it and move in this direction. Okay, so now I explained how this works, and now I guess I'm simply going to continue and maybe talk about something else. I don't know. I do see that 2 people are watching, so maybe I should talk about something. I was talking a little bit about business before, about the business of running a business. Yeah, the business of running a repair shop. And I think that would be a good thing to talk about in these live streams, because I believe that most people watching these live streams from the workbench are probably going to be technicians, or maybe people who want to be technicians. I don't know. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Nobody tells me anything. Yeah, so I think I need to do it again. I missed a spot here. So not the entire fret, just here. Because I was talking too much. Okay, this looks good. Or maybe I shouldn't talk at all. Let the work narrate itself. So, I'm wondering if I recrowned this fret enough. This was the high fret. Now I'm looking at it, and it seems like it could use a little more recrowning. So yes, I'm definitely going to do it, because I can see that it's still a little bit flat on top. And maybe I can even use this centered Z file, actually. Just one of the sides. Because you do want it to be recrowned for all the good reasons. I think yeah, I need to spend a little time on this one fret. So this fret was higher than the other ones, and I can see a little gap there. And I know you might be wondering, why didn't I just drive it in? That's the gap. Well, you don't know if you can drive it in. And if you attempt to drive it in, and then it turns out that there's something blocking it, you might make it worse. So I've done it before, and regretted it. So yeah, and this is my fine file that's really old, so I just finish it off with this. So there's a reason why this fret is not seated like the other ones. It could be that there's something blocking the tang. So if you try to bang it, and let's say that this fret, I'm sure, is glued in, so that's one reason also, it's glued in, right? So the hardened glue is not going to let you bang it in. And yeah, I'm sure I would make it worse if I tried. So I'm not going to try. And here I also missed a little bit, so let me focus on this side a little bit here. Okay, that's good. And now the moment of truth. We'll see if I can polish all the way across the crown. I think I need to do it twice on this fret. I'm looking at the reflection. So yeah, this is good now. All right. So moving in this direction, another method that we might want to use is this one. So this is a fret guard. Not this size, maybe this size. Yeah. Now this has some red marker on it, but just to explain. You can do this. I'm not going to do it, but I just want to explain because I would need to clean the red marker. Also, these frets are not tall enough for this method. And then, you know, do your thing and just move it in this direction, one fret at a time. Okay, so that's another method. I'm explaining this because this time I'm in fact doing a tutorial. This is why this is titled How to Level and Crown the Frets. But this series is also going to have a surprise, surprise project. I guess an additional project. I need to fix the bridge plate. So maybe I should do a separate playlist for that. I don't know, I gotta think about it. So one thing with this method, you want to move it for each fret, right? And as you can see, here I managed to move it in small increments, and here I just wasted a little bit of sandpaper. So I'm just going to try to use this part, okay, as best as I can, just to be more efficient and environmentally friendly. Less wasteful, in other words. it worked, kind of. All right. That's it. So let me just continue this. I'm not really sure that I should be narrating every single fret. But I'm not really inspired to talk about anything else right now. I don't know. I feel like I should have a list of things to talk about and put some bullet points here on the wall, and next time I'm live streaming, maybe I can just glance at the bullet points and just talk about something. So I think you just saw that I slipped a little bit, and you know, that's why I put the tape, because you can risk it and not use the tape, but then if you slip, it's going to show on the fingerboard, and then you can repair it, but you know, I don't think that's a very rewarding experience. I'd rather move the tape. I bought a set of I think they're called ball nose end mills. Those are cutting tools for the milling machine. And so I use the ball nose end mill to cut this channel, but I only cut 3 sizes. So I bought them in several different sizes now. So I'm going to make a whole bunch of these tools. I won't be selling the tools. I don't think there's any money in that. But I'll make them for the shop here. And I'm surprised that you can't buy this tool on AliExpress already. Because anything that's good that's on the internet, those guys, they just copy everything and, you know, sell it. So, just using 2 grits, this is P600, and then that's 1500, without the letter P. So they have, there's more than one system of grading sandpaper grits. I don't know why. Just to mess with you. So, to be clear, 600 grit or, okay, that's 800. So that's P800 grit or 800 grit are not the same. So, those are 2 different grits. So this says 1500 without the P. And this says 800 with the letter P. And you can see the different colors as well. So different materials are used for the grit. And then it's also not the same between manufacturers. That's my observation. Maybe we should make our own sandpaper. Before sandpaper, people were using shark skin. And there was also a material called shark skin, but I'm not sure that it was actual shark skin. I don't think so, right? But who knows? Okay, so I have 4 more frets to go, and then I will switch to 1500 grit. Look, there's a small audience. So I am actually doing a tutorial this time, which is why I call this how to, this video, although it's a live stream. But I'm not cutting anything out. So that's the advantage of the live stream format. The other advantage of the live stream format is that I sometimes run into interesting, unexpected issues or situations. And obviously, the advantage of live streaming is all those situations would be archived and hopefully interesting to watch. Like we ran into an issue on this guitar, on the bridge. If you watch, you are now watching, what part is this? Part 5. So if you watch part 2 and part 4 of this series, you should watch part 4. I'm sorry, part 2. Because I only talk about that bridge issue in part 2. And I also mention it at the end of part 4. One more fret, and we're done with the 800 grit, the P800 grit. This is the last fret. And now we switch to 1500 grit without the letter P in it. Yeah, so this looks good. It's got that brushed metal look. And now yeah, I can save this. Still got some unused sandpaper left on that strip. And let's see, the battery level is good here on my microphone, transmitter, receiver. Yeah, it's going to hold up. Right. Because on some of my live streams, I lost the sound. So I learned from my mistakes. Okay. It's an ebony fingerboard. A lot of technicians don't tape off ebony when they polish. Let's say if they polish up and down with a micro mesh. Yeah, because it's easy to clean up. I think it's ebony, or is it rich light? No, it's ebony. Yeah. Okay. 1500. Oh, I have it here already. It's a 3M sandpaper that I'm using. And, you know, it feels different. I can feel more resistance when I use the 1500 grit. I also have 2000 grit. I've done some, because this is a fairly new method for me. So I'm still experimenting just to determine which grids give me the best results, and also, I guess, take less time to finish the job. Maybe I should also do some live streams without narrating anything. There are some people who don't narrate, right? Who, like Tanya Shpachuk, I think that's how you pronounce her name, from Ukraine. She just works and works and works. She's not streaming, right? She's just recording her video, her work, and then editing videos. But she never narrates. I think it's because maybe she doesn't speak English. But she knows that, you know, most of her viewers are probably in the US. She did appear as a guest on Ian Davlin's loot group. So that's a Patreon group I'm a member of. In fact, my renewal will be in January, I believe. You can meet a lot of techs and builders on that forum. So I haven't been active on it in the past few months, since maybe July, when I started streaming. Oh yeah, so I'm sorry. There's a loot group and there's the loot along. So the loot along is the 24-hour Zoom thing that you can just log on to once you're a member of the Loot group, and then you can talk to other techs, etc. But the Loot group is a Patreon thing. If you have an account, you have access to some amazing archived videos, tutorials. You can really learn everything you want to learn about servicing guitars. So, Tanya, sometimes Ian Devlin has guests, and Tanya was a guest once with her, I don't know, partner, husband, boyfriend, I don't know. And I watched part of it. Yeah. Because I think everybody knows who she is. Or everyone knows of her, I guess. Everyone that follows guitar repair channels. She's got more subscribers than I do. I wonder why. I'm a subscriber, but I haven't been watching her videos lately. So I like to watch other people's videos right here while I work. I have a monitor here so I can watch other people work, right? And sometimes I have headphones or I just run the sound, but I kind of need that narration because obviously I need to look at what I'm doing, and she doesn't talk, so yeah, so I can't really watch her videos at work. Okay. So that's going to be polishing, and next will be buffing. I've already done so many live streams of fret polishing. You know, maybe I'll go back to the other methods as well. I think I will. I'm just really intrigued with this method right now, so that's what I've been doing lately. But the other methods are good. I just want to be able to you know, to do different methods and then determine which method might be the best for the job. But the results are going to be pretty much the same, right? I just don't use steel wool, as you can see. So steel wool is very quick. Just rub it up and down, and that's it. But it doesn't get you this really high gloss mirror finish, for sure. Here we are in the business of scratch removal right now. So-called scratch removal. Obviously, there's no such thing as removing a scratch. The scratches are like the holes in the Swiss cheese. You can't remove them really, right? Okay. Maybe I should have used the other method. Maybe next time. 2 more frets, and then we start buffing. I just finished this one. One more. And I can tell the difference between the 800 grit and the 1500 grit. But you need to just remove the scratches completely. Well, there's no such thing as completely, right? But before buffing. Because otherwise, you can tell, definitely, that you are buffing over scratches. Okay, that's that. And now, let's buff some frets. Let's check the battery. Okay. We lost a viewer. Well, I don't think this channel will ever be really popular, right? It's such narrow interest in this. Who's gonna watch this, right? Even guitar players. That's why maybe I should be talking about other things other than the work that I'm doing. Eventually I'm gonna have to do that, I think. Okay, so let's talk about these buffing little machines. First of all, the links are in the description. Same for the buffing compounds. Once when I used this, I know this is gross, but I didn't realize that I had to blow my nose later, and all black little things came out. So this buffing wheel gets smaller and smaller as you use it, right? Smaller and smaller, which means particles of it get splashed into the air. So now, if you do it this way, you will be inhaling the little fibers, which are black because it's the buffing compound. Well, the fibers are dirty, right? And the blackness comes from the buffing compound and the metal that the buffing compound is removing. So if you use this tool, just make sure you are seated like this. And even then, I think you still will be inhaling a little bit of this. Now these buffing wheels are, you should buy the natural ones like wool. I don't know if there's also cotton also, right? Instead of, I don't even think that they make synthetic ones because those would melt, right? So, so yeah, but whatever. You will be inhaling a little bit of this. I was using a mask for a while but it's kind of like too much work, and I'm lazy. Okay, let's do some buffing. So I'll put this one away. So I think this must be wax mixed with grit, right? What else could this be, right? And the wheel needs to warm up a little bit, I think, before it starts to do a really good job. But so obviously, because the wax is sticky, you can see that a lot of it gets stuck onto this tape, right? But some of it gets splashed into the air. And I forgot, I also need this microfiber cloth. And maybe a glove. This is a reused glove. I'm not doing surgery, right? And that's it, yeah. Okay. Oh, I already did this. And now just remove the buffing compound and still kind of polish with this. Let's put this in manual focus. And now we move up the fretboard. Up is in this direction, right? That's the terminology. Because you play higher notes up the fretboard, right? Notes that are higher in pitch. So it's important not to overheat the fret, which is why I'm moving it back and forth like this. So you don't want to be just stuck in one spot. If you overheat the frets, they can actually shift a little bit, and we don't want that for obvious reasons. Now, the question is, can you do this without this tape? In some cases, there might be traces of you buffing the fingerboard, right? So, and then you'd spend more time cleaning that off than it takes to move the tape. Sometimes I tape off the entire fingerboard. Let's say if it's a maple fingerboard, for example. But not only maple. And you know, I have a fee for taping out the whole fingerboard. And I don't like to apply that fee. But if I feel that there's no other way, then, well, then there's no other way. So every level crown and polish job isn't the same. This one is different from the previous one I did. if you watch part 3, so this is right now a 5-part series so far. So in part 3, I am leveling the frets, and if you watch it, you will see that I had to do a little bit of a compound radius on this fretboard, and I explain why. So this is how this level chrome polish job was different from the previous one that I did, which was what? I can't remember what the previous one was. Sorry. Well, actually, it could have been the SG. No, it wasn't. It was another guitar. On the SG, 1970s SG, I also had to do a compound radius. You can find the playlist on this channel. Just search for 1970s Gibson SG something something fretwork. So these frets are going to be polished to a mirror finish, okay, all the way. And yeah, that's how I like to hand the guitar back to the customers. It doesn't last forever, obviously. But that's just because of the second law of thermodynamics. You can look it up. It says everything goes to shit. You can ask Professor Michio Kaku, I think at Columbia University. So I don't know how much of this I'm inhaling, to be honest. I gotta keep my face away from this. Maybe I'll blow my nose at the end and show you. Like I said, I was using a respirator for a while. But yeah, that's after I realized that I was inhaling all that. So these buffing compounds come in a set of 6. So you know, the set doesn't come with a printed chart that tells you what kind of metal to use. So they're color coded, right? This is a red, kind of a red. So the red one works well on nickel silver frets, because nickel silver frets are basically brass mixed with nickel. But if you are polishing let's say, stainless steel frets, you'd be using, I forget which color. So the chart is available online, and I have a screenshot of it in a folder on my computer, so I can always refer to it. But I know that the red one is for stainless steel frets. No, I'm sorry, for nickel silver frets. All the guitars that cross my bench get this treatment. So there's no such thing as a guitar that would not get the fret polish here. So even if you're just restringing, if the guitar doesn't need a setup, you would want to do this. I guess it really depends how often you're restringing. But to some extent, you want to do some kind of buffing or polishing on the frets whenever you change the strings. Not with the sandpaper, obviously, but with a final buffing, I believe so, yes. And you know, so that's really kind of like the minimum service here. If the guitar needs to be restrung, I will also do a full detailing of the guitar. Provided that it doesn't also need a setup or not repair or something. Because some guitars never seem to need a setup. And it also depends on what is your definition of a setup. So you could define it as just the mechanical alignment part of the service, or, you know, more in broad general terms, the setup being whatever the guitar needs, which could include some kind of nut repair, or, you know, mechanical setup plus cleaning and buffing and polishing. So there's no official definition of what a setup is, not to my knowledge. So you can make it your own in your own shop if you have a shop. Sometimes people bring guitars that look like they've been pulled out of a sewer. They will all get a setup. Yeah, to me, it's just not a proper service if you don't also clean the guitar and polish the frets. I mean, what kind of service is that if you just change the strings and the guitar has you know, a bunch of fret cheese all over between the frets, and that's not a service, right? And there are plenty of people that don't want you to clean your guitar, their guitars. Well, that's kind of like going to the hairdresser with really dirty hair and say, I just want a haircut, but I don't want you to wash my hair. I mean, what dresser, a hairdresser, a barber would even agree to that? It's like, we're going to wash your hair because it's dirty. And that's how you're going to walk out of our barber shop with clean hair. Because that's what we do here. I actually let people know about that before they bring the guitar. Unless they just happen to show up. But I have a PDF. I send it to them via text message. And it says full service only. But then, not to be rude to customers, I do say if that's not the level of service that you're looking for, it's perfectly fine. I can do a referral, which I do all the time. So that way I don't come across as a, you know, jerk, I guess. So restringing a guitar in New York, I think must cost between $35 and $55 just for a standard 6-string acoustic steel string guitar, not a classical, right? Classical is going to be more. Nylon string guitar more, right? So let's say that you're a shop that charges $55, and now you put the strings on, and let's say if the guitar looks like it's been pulled out of a grave, right? What, you just give it back like that, looking the same way? I don't think so, right? So then what, you just clean it for free? I don't think so. So what do you do? So too bad I can't finish this guitar today because of the bridge issue. It's going to be finished next week. I'm going to work on some other guitars. I got some other guitars to work on, and I need to discuss with the customer. Because the ball end of the string, so for those of you watching now, and if you haven't seen the previous parts, the bridge holes, the string holes through the bridge and the bridge plate are have been enlarged by someone. And now the ball end of the string is getting stuck inside of the string slots. Well, you know, close to the surface of the bridge plate, but still inside. And that is now damaging the inside wall of that string hole. So it's really not in the best interest of the guitar to leave it like this. Maybe for a little while could be, you know, would be acceptable, obviously, but it's here now, so, you know, we do the work. Maybe I'll do a separate playlist for that, because this playlist is how to level and crown frets. I don't want to throw in another thing. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do a separate playlist for that. I think that's the best way to do this. It's not too hot this time, so I'm going to recharge the battery right immediately. Let me check the battery on the computer. 39%. And the microphone is also good. Now, another round of buffing. Fresh tape. Okay. This one, it feels like it's spinning faster. I don't think it is. Just feels that way. And I can see the difference. This is why it's worth it. Oops. Yeah, this seems to have like an auto shut-off mode or something. If the wheel gets stuck, it just shuts it off, which I think is really good. And like I said, I put links to this. I think it's better to use this than the AC powered Dremel tool, because it's too powerful for this. More power isn't always better. Speaking of frets, I got some frets here for a refret. I've been putting it off for a while. It's the Martin HD28 that's also on a separate playlist, but it's a long-term project with a neck reset and this and that. I already reglued the bridge on that guitar, and yeah, like I was explaining in the previous part of this live stream playlist, I guess two videos ago, if I end up spending too much time on a project, I end up paying for, you know, the work. But anyway, this is not the case with that HD28, because the customer had a really decent budget. But still, I'm spending a lot of time on that guitar, and that's the time I could spend working on other guitars and getting paid right away, right? Yeah. This month what is December, right? I haven't touched the HD28, so maybe I should put it back on the bench before the end of the month. Maybe install the frets. No, first I need to finish the neck. Let me think. Yeah, the neck joint. I have some veneer. I already made some veneer, maple veneer for the shims for the neck. So it's a Martin HD28, right? And I'm doing a neck reset. So you need typically you need shims for the dovetail neck joint. So the neck is mahogany, and the neck block, the best wood for that would be willow, but I think it's mahogany on that one. I can't remember. But the neck shims should not be mahogany, even if the neck block and the neck itself are mahogany, because you can't really make mahogany veneer that's structurally strong. So you can make veneer on a bandsaw, yeah, and then thickness it with sandpaper. You know, you only need small pieces of veneer for shimming a dovetail neck joint. You can easily make that. And then when you make your own veneer, you'll know for sure that the wood grain is actually going in the right direction. So you don't want to have a quarter sawn, for example, for that veneer, because it's too brittle. You can snap it. So if you just buy veneer, let's say if you were to buy maple veneer, you don't know what you're going to get. But if you cut it yourself, you have full control over every aspect of it. So I'm making it rift sawn. That means that the growth rings, when you look at the veneer, are going like this. Not like that. That's easy to snap. Not like this, not flat sawn, but at an angle. So quarter sawn, you know, a lot of people say quarter sawn wood is the best. Well, the best for what? Yes, for a neck. But if you have a piece of wood with growth rings like this, like a board, right? Yeah, the board can't be bent easily in this direction, but it can snap in this direction, especially if the board is thin, like veneer. All right. Now, I'm not equipped to make large sheets of veneer, right? But I can make small pieces of veneer for patchwork and, you know, basically shimming a dovetail neck joint is patchwork. Oh, I haven't shown this angle. Yeah, so you know, the camera doesn't really show it nicely. It looks better in person. I think lighting a shiny surface is challenging. Lighting it for a camera. Maybe we try it this way. So I will show you everything I do on the frets up to this point. There is another thing that I do that I don't show yet at this time. And it's really not because I want to be too secretive or anything, but you know, I am trying to monetize my channels and stuff. So maybe it's going to be something for the Patreon members or something. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I don't want to be too secretive or patented or anything like that. Anything you patent, you're going to find on AliExpress in about 2 weeks, or even before your patent confirmation comes in the mail. It's already going to be on AliExpress. So yeah, but I am trying to monetize this channel. The other channel is monetized, but it's not making enough money. And I am, in fact, spending a lot of time producing the videos, the content. So There's only so much I can do for free. Not for free, or for very little money. Oh yeah, so if you buy these, I'll show you. They have 3 speeds. I always use it at the highest. The lower speeds also don't have much power. So it's not transmission based, right? If this was transmission based, the lower speeds would have more power. And this is the other way around. So it must be just a resistor or a voltage divider that is just not allowing too much juice to reach the motor for the lower speeds. Okay, so as you can see, the fret polishing always takes a long time. I've been streaming for almost an hour and a half. Maybe I should raise my fees. I've raised them so many times already. This just takes a long time. Like sushi. You can't rush it. I actually have kind of like an omakase approach to the services here. So omakase is the Japanese term for I think it means it's up to you. So that's used in some high-end Japanese restaurants when the chef decides what you're going to eat based on the best available ingredients at the time and based on the best combination of best available ingredients. So I kind of have an omakase approach to guitar services, and I explain that to the customers before they come, that I'll look at the guitar and then there might be options, right? But it's what is it that we need to do to get the guitar back to you at its best. It's not going to be the same for every guitar. So if one guitar has uneven frets and the other guitar has perfect frets, it's not going to be the same service. And I try to keep my communication with potential customers very brief, so that I'm not that I don't invest my time in a guitar project that I don't even know if I'm going to be working on. But I do at one point very early in the communication say, just text me a few clear images of your guitar. If I see any fret wear, I already tell them we are going to be doing fret work. And then if that's not what they want, then I'll just recommend someone else. I do a referral. Like I said earlier, just so that I don't come across as a, jerk. Okay. I don't always do a referral. Sometimes I just say you should try to find another shop. And that's usually when I get a sense that the friend that I would be sending this customer to would not appreciate it. Okay, so that's that. Let's see, the guys are leaving. Are you guys leaving? Okay. Huh? Oh yeah, happy holidays. Yeah, I'll be here. Okay, guys, good night. Yeah, only me and the guitar now, and you watching. Okay. So one thing that I always like to look at is the reflections, and you can see that the little dots or little short lines, they move in unison, right? So if they move like this, right, then you know that you have uneven frets, somehow wavy. So that would happen if you polished frets without leveling them and they were uneven, right? But we did level them. Okay. Let's do a little bit of cleaning. And like I said, I need to halt this project now because of that bridge issue. I will discuss it with the customer. He will watch the videos. That's one advantage of these live streams. I don't need to really spend much time explaining if there's a unforeseen issue, and that's because obviously the customers would want to just see all the details, and they can see the videos, the archived live stream, unless they were watching it live already. But it is my understanding this customer wasn't able to watch some of them live. Audio Murphy, guitar, axe, what is that? Syringe. Is that a syringe? Screwdriver, crescent wrench, saw, and guitar. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Okay. And now let's clean it again with a toxic chemical. and then oil it. Where's the screwdriver here? And then, what is that? 10? No, it's 11 almost, right? Yeah. Should I or should I not work on another guitar tonight? Here. Okay, I keep my face away. There's a little crack here. It's very minor. Almost can't see it. It could just be the wood grain. No, I think it is a little hairline fracture. There's no separation, no gap, but the fingerboard did dry up, and ebony can fracture. Solar guitars are known for that, and I've seen many with these fractures in the ebony fingerboard. I don't know why. You know, ebony is controlled by the Taylor Guitar Company. The only place where you can cut ebony legally is Cameroon. So I wonder if solar guitars buy their ebony from another source, which my understanding is would be illegal, because you can only buy it legally from Cameroon, and the Taylor Guitar Company controls that. So since no other guitar, to my knowledge, has this persistent issue with the ebony drying up and fracturing, it just occurred to me as we speak that, again, without accusing anyone, without any evidence, but where do they get their ebony from? How come only their ebony is prone to fracturing like this? And the other thing is that if you've noticed, now you get a lot of ebony fingerboards with ebony that isn't completely black. But again, to my knowledge, solar guitars all have completely black ebony. So that the way that ebony used to be cut, which is why it's now an endangered species, is because they would need to cut, on average, 20 trees, just cut them, just to see if it was black, completely black. And if it wasn't, they would just let it rot. They would just not bother taking it. Sorry, I'm looking for something. Taking the tree, right? If it wasn't completely black. So now, because Taylor controls how ebony is harvested, cut, and how ebony trees are cut, and how ebony is sold, etc. They give you a random. So when you order ebony, you get whatever is, you know, available. I don't know if there's an option to pay extra for black, but I wonder now if solar guitars buy their ebony from another source, and again, that would mean it's an illegal source, and that they keep cutting trees the old way. I wonder. Okay, so my fingerboard oil is in the fridge. So I need to, and that's around the corner there. I'll be right back. The oil that I use is, well, I'll show you if you've ever seen any previous live streams, is this one. And that is a secret ingredient. Yeah, so it's coconut oil, right? And now that, you know, the heat is on in the winter, it gets, so you want it to be like consistency of butter, right? So now it's a little bit too hard, to be honest with you, because I forgot to bring it out. Oh, sorry. This. Okay, and I just go like this. So because it's a little hard, I'm just going to have to go a few times. You can still use it. And why do I use coconut oil? Well, because it isn't in its liquid form. So when it's not in its liquid form, as you can see, you are only oiling the surfaces between the frets. So the oil doesn't wick between the fret tangs and the fret slots. So when the oil wicks inside, it weakens the mechanical connection between the fret tang and the board. And this is just a terry cloth from an automotive shop. Sometimes it's a little challenging to do this fingerboard extension because the frets are so close together. Just to get into those corners. Okay, that's it. Like I said, I have another proprietary phase that I use at the end, which I'm not publishing yet at this time, and I will do that, and then I will, yeah, I will put the strings on loosely. I will not glue it in just yet. It's kind of too loose. It's not even held by friction. This is not the original nut. But it's you know, it doesn't wiggle or anything. It's, you know, it's a good nut. Yeah, that's it. So I will do the rest off camera. Yeah, this is it. This is the guitar. So again, these bridge holes, yeah, they are cylindrical all the way through. So somebody did this. Martin, no one at the Martin factory did this. And even when I just look at them, when I look down, I can see that they're just cylindrical. They need to be conical shaped, right? But they're not. And that's the problem. We need to fix it. Okay, kids, it's time to go to bed. And look, we just got another viewer. Sorry you came kind of late. But you can watch the replay. So this is part 5 of this series. To be continued. It's a live stream. So you can see everything. And yeah, so for those of you who are not aware, Audie Murphy is aware of it, but I have another channel called Guitar Quackery. You are now watching me on Guitar Quackery Live, not the same channel. Guitar Quackery is more for, I think, general audiences better because it's produced content, not live streams. Okay, click like if you liked. Don't click anything if you didn't like it. Just find another channel to watch if you didn't like it. And that's it. If you want to buy me a coffee, you can click the link that says buy me a coffee. Thank you if you do. And that's it. I am going to finish that thing, you know, with that proprietary thing, and put the strings back on loosely, discuss the issue with the customer, and we'll finish this guitar next week. Good night. I'll see you soon.